From that point forward, we have been seeing near no exchanging action on the Bybit and Coinbase charts all through the range of the last hour, 2 hours, and 4 hours. For example, the sum Bitcoin being exchanged the most recent a few days is almost nothing. It very well may be said it is going down. Okay, obviously, we ought to be prepared for Bitcoin to go up, which I acknowledge is somewhat more reasonable. In any case, we likewise should be ready assuming Bitcoin quits going up and begins going down once more. Consequently, I truly need to frame and enlighten you. What is the going with cost objective we want to reach? Tolerating we completed our most fundamental wave and second wave, we can utilize Fibonacci levels to expect the going with cost target. We take a gander at the high and deterred spots of the second wave to sort it out. By and by, we completed our second Alnut wave at an expense of around 37,600 USD. Expecting that occurs, we ought to focus in on our 1.618 Fibonacci augmentation level is at around 33,400 US dollars. I figure this target might be shown up at on the off chance that our CPI information is hugely terrible and expecting the Bitcoin cost drops a ton, perhaps soon. In the event that occurs, and our basic help districts are broken, I would agree that we want to focus in on the 618 Fibonacci improvement level at a cost of 33,400 US dollars. According to my viewpoint, it's not likely that the cost will go up essentially, however we ought to in any case be ready assuming the expansion report is endlessly out horrendous. At this point, might we at any point take a gander at 2 or 3 signs that show the market is probably going to go up? Might we at any point investigate our certain presumption to the detriment of Bitcoin? At this point, we can see a critical or generally splendid response occurring at the gold Fibonacci degree locale. In any case, that isn't all. As I alluded to in my past records, striking moving midpoints can be utilized on various time frames like 60 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours, and, amazingly, customary, the current second, the market is doing commonly around well and going up. Besides, expecting you take a gander at the RSI pointer on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, it's showing that there is a higher low and a lower low illustrating. A few hours sooner, there was even a baffling bullish difference. Typically, there is a time frame, and at customary ranges, there is likewise a stretch of time. They are both exactly the same thing. The cost of Bitcoin is making little drops and a brief time frame later genuinely higher drops. This is making a model that shows the cost could go up soon. Without a doubt, as alluded to a few days sooner, we see a negative model on the customary diagram. Other than in general there are no colossal indications of a trench that we encountered a huge misfortune in respect with a ton of exchanging improvement. Along these lines, subsequently, I truly need to say that tolerant Bitcoin goes up, the central level of obstruction it could confront is the magnificent Fibonacci degree. Utilizing the gold Fibonacci degree on our diagram, we start from the high point and drop down to the beat spot down. You will see that there is huge strong regions for an at conclusively 37,400 US dollars in and from that point forward we are seeing certainly low volume on the 1 hourly, on the 2 hourly, on the 4 hour stretch of time, on the Bybit graph here, yet moreover we can go with a Coinbase outline. For instance, the volume for Bitcoin in the new days is very low. It very well may be said it is diminishing towards the burden.so. Obviously, not just we ought to be ready for more expected gain, which according to my viewpoint, it is somewhat more conceivable, yet in like manner ponder how possible it is that Bitcoin finished out at this particular region and we will unwisely go on with even lower. To that end I need to make and give to you. What will be our next basic cost target, expecting we right by and by say that we finished our most basic rash part wave here, and we got additionally our subsequent part wave. Obviously, what is the going with cost target? All we need to do, we go with our Fibonacci advancement levels from our swing high, back to our swing low, back towards the fruition of our following part wave. We could discuss when this second Alnut wave really got done, on the off chance that it was truly at this particular region, or perhaps at this particular district, or perhaps in the event that it's not even completed as of the ongoing second, and we will see one more push towards the converse. In any case, we should simply say that we completed our second Alnut wave around at 37,600 USD. Considering everything, we genuinely need to focus in on our 1.618 Fibonacci augmentation level, which will be at around 33,400 US dollars. So I would agree that this particular objective will end up being possibly the primary part, gave that right now our CPI information will be very negative, and we are genuinely going to see a huge response in the Bitcoin regard itself, and we are truly going to see an essential drop, perhaps in the looming hours. Tolerating that will be what's going on. Expecting our essential help regions here will with being broken. Obviously, I would agree that 1.618 Fibonacci expansion level is a central cost place for us to gather around at 33,400 US dollars, yet as alluded to ahead of time, to some degree according to my point of view, it isn't unusually cognizant that we will see a fundamental push towards NASA, yet as alluded to in advance. We ought to be coordinated considering the way that contemplate how possible it is that improvement report here will be particularly negative. Eventually, we should discuss extra bullish signs. We should discuss what can't avoid being what's going on for the Bitcoin regard itself. We know right now that we are seeing an essential response, or really an exceptionally exquisite response, unequivocally at the gold Fibonacci degree district here. In any case, moreover, as alluded to right now in my past records, profound moving midpoints on the 1 hourly, on the 2 hourly, on the 4 hourly stretch of time, even on the ordinary time frame. At the present time looking very bullish, we are in a rise. Likewise, on the off chance that you will go, for instance with the RSI marker, expect on the 1 hour stretch of time, Bitcoin is shaping a higher low RSI shining clean, lower low, and we were even at the oversight locale a couple of hours sooner, covered, bullish uniqueness. 2 hourly time frame, 4 hourly time span, the very same thing. Lower low, higher low on the Bitcoin regard itself, stowed away bullish divergences are correct as of now being formed on neighboring term time intervals. Definitely, as Wright presently alluded to, likewise a couple of days sooner, on the ordinary stretch of time, we are illustrating negative differentiation here. However, as alluded to, locally talking, we are as of now not unequivocally seeing any huge negative signs, essentially that we have gotten an enormous dismissal towards the probable increment on a genuinely high volume. Subsequently, in this manner, I could genuinely have to say that expecting Bitcoin does witness, and as it's would like towards the conceivable expansion, our region, or actually our most huge area check is again going to be unbelievable Fibonacci degree. From the high back to our low, applying just the gold Fibonacci degree on our format. You can see the nearby obstruction will come up unequivocally at 37,400 US, changing immaculately with our past highs for liquidity purposes. Besides, also, in this way evaluating the whole upper cost development with volume, you will see we really have our worth area high around at the gold Fibonacci degree. Certain individuals likewise say that assuming we truly discuss our past highs with a corner-to-corner area of opposition, that this level circumstance here will brilliantly concur with the spot of control. Also, no doubt, I would concur with them. So what we can write at this point say, expecting that Bitcoin go on with higher, our most fundamental neighborhood hindrance for us to focus in on, it will be this particular zone, around our past highs, by and large our inclining level, our place of control, our worth region high, and obviously moreover the breathtaking Fibonacci degree at 37,400 US. Exactly when we begin breaking this particular area of deterrent toward the reasonable increment, according to my point of view, we can be searching for an impeccable higher high to be shaped on Bitcoin more than 38,000 USD. In any case, at this point, what will be our exchanging considerations for the present? Where we can really be searching for a perfect short, perhaps a long or a purchasing position. At this point, in the event that you haven't proactively entered a fresh out-of-the-box new broad or a purchasing position at the gold Fibonacci degree, going with a long or a purchase here, according to my viewpoint, being the most ideal choice isn't definitively going. Fundamentally correspondingly understanding that in the next few hours, we will see CPI information that is overall evidently going to affect the Bitcoin regard itself. So going with a long or a purchase as of this second, according to my viewpoint, in the event that you haven't done as such at the gold Fibonacci degree, not the most ideal choice. I would agree that going with a short situation as alluded to before with an exchanging thought. Of that this here being a drive and this here being a revision, and that we can as of now expect lower is comparatively going to be phenomenally unsafe considering the way that general cost activity here looks still exceptionally bullish. The requesting stream here additionally looks unbelievably bullish, so obviously going right now with a short it's moreover goy. Notwithstanding, what we will see radiates an impression of being totally legitimate. Bitcoin went down from 38,000 US, yet at this point it is evidently making a manual for address this. Once more lately, the insurances exchange went down. We are at this point at around 36,000 US. It seems like there is just a touch of progress in the cost. Expecting that we search in any occasion in most raised spots of the value, what is the primary Fibonacci degree? This will be our superb spot, here. Other than that, when we take a gander at the cost and how much exchanging that occurred, it appears as though there is a reaction at the less expensive reach. Moreover, we besides discarded a cache to keep sufficient money open along these lines, we were exchanging around a help area of the neighborhood with displaying. Right now, we are seeing a slight vertical development. Nevertheless, might Bitcoin anytime at some point stay at this degree of help for the going with a few hours? Also, might it whenever eventually progress forward up essentially more? This second, everybody is seeing near see what others are doing keeping watch. Undoubtedly, we are seeing 2 or 3 signs that the market is going up. Right now, the Bitcoin outlines show that there is a ton of strain to sell keeping watch. This construes that individuals are selling Bitcoin. In any case, the cost of Bitcoin is right now higher than ahead of time. On September 14th, I posted a tweet on Twitter conveying that there is a ton of advancement with Bitcoin on the CVD marker. Individuals are trying to purchase a ton in any case are not convincing. In any case, in this ongoing circumstance, we have a negative differentiation. Another high point was being made on the CVD marker. Bitcoin was making a lower high ahead of time, however eventually it's doing the opposite. We are seeing more individuals getting Bitcoin, yet the CVD pointer is showing a remarkable dissatisfaction. This sign is horrendous for Bitcoin. It's a censure that the cost of Bitcoin could go down. We are seeing the opposite, which is really a pleasant sign to the detriment of Bitcoin. Sadly, it's not regularly so particularly typical as you would ordinarily think. On September 14th, when I posted this, it was a shocking sign to the detriment of Bitcoin. Regardless, we have seen a huge improvement in the cost of Bitcoin. Expecting that we take a gander at the systems, we can see that it occurred at a particular time. Bitcoin advanced forward up in a general sense more. In the other heading, we are at present seeing a ton of purchasing and positive improvement keeping watch. Tragically, we can't simply acknowledge this information and say Bitcoin will go far up considering the way that there's new advancement information quite close. At this point what we can hope to see is a huge ruin from 3.7% becomes around 3 anyway. In the going with a few numbers, we will figure out what the valid information shows. Expecting Bitcoin advances forward up, it looks splendid in light of the fact that several specific pointers show that it's most probable going to advance forward up. Nonetheless, there is another basic thing that I truly need to tell you. Imagine what is happening in which the signs that the cost will go up are not right, and it really advances forward down and crosses our help levels. Expecting we take a gander at the diagram for 60 minutes, I let you in on yesterday that this may be strong regions for a looking out. That I think we by and large concur that this cost headway looks extremely accommodating. On the off chance that we make an estimate at this point, the most basic point for Bitcoin has been reached. Later in the video, I will let you know that guessing isn't the most ideal choice for exchanging. In any case, on the off chance that we say that Bitcoin has appeared at its most raised point, we may fundamentally be looking at a little decreasing, not a colossal drop. We just figured out we were pardoned at similar level we began from. Anyway, for the present, we should break down the defense for why this negative circumstance is right now conceivable, yet at the identical not likely. OK, Bitcoin has been dependably exchanging at the 37,000 region, and in the present Bitcoin cost figure video, we'll look at the justification for why basic worth enhancements can be anticipated in the near future considering the way that not just we are seeing some crazy bullish upkeep, yet in addition a shiny new expansion report will go live. At any rate what we, specifically, will see, it truly is apparently that, after a dismissal at 38,000 USD locale, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Bitcoin got an essential push towards disadvantage. As of now from that point forward, we are just framing a mending delineation or something to that effect, generally looking on the 2-hourly period of time. Lately, we got one more push towards drawback. Towards 36,000 US dollars where it truly seems like we are correct as of now seeing a little response since, in such a case that we go from our swing low back to our swing high, what is the central Fibonacci degree? It is really going to be our breathtaking pocket, which was unequivocally at this particular region. In like manner, evaluating the whole upper cost development with the volume, it truly seems like we are seeing a response at the worth district low. Besides, additionally, we also took out unambiguous lows for liquidity purposes. As such, we were exchanging at a nearby assistance locale or something like that. Furthermore, this subsequent we are seeing a little pivot towards the normal increment. Obviously, the solicitation is Bitcoin going to have the decision to hold our area of help for the going with a couple of hours here? In like manner, really go on with its way basically higher towards the converse considering how the fact of the matter is paying at this point, exceptionally close care concerning what others are doing keeping an eye out. It really is apparently that point of fact, we are seeing several bullish signs happening right at this point in the Bitcoin outlines. Our CVD pointer, which is surveying in the event that the trading pressure is coming looking out, we are seeing a huge push towards disadvantage, which right at present proposes selling pressure is coming obviously in the market while Bitcoin is as of now framing a higher low or something like that. Before long, on Twitter, on 14th of September, I posted an extremely enthralling tweet, which genuinely said tremendous upkeep on Bitcoin is as of now occurring on the CVD pointer. Individuals are essentially purchasing particularly absurdly. Regardless, for this current situation here, we got a negative qualification. Absolutely new higher high was shaping on the CVD marker. While Bitcoin was shaping a lower high at present for this current situation that we are seeing right now, it is according to a certified point of view exceptionally astounding. We are seeing a higher credit Bitcoin, however an ideal lower low on the CVD marker. So on the off chance that this here was a negative sign for Bitcoin was a high alert for the Bitcoin regard itself as of the ongoing second that we are seeing totally exceptional, which is genuinely going to be a bullish sign for the Bitcoin regard itself. In any case, it isn't precisely so especially fundamental as you would regularly think, tragically, considering the way that on 14th of September, when I posted this, unquestionably, it was an epic negative sign for the Bitcoin regard itself. In any case, we have gotten a gigantic direct in the Bitcoin regard itself since, expecting that we go at this moment, for instance, on the 4-hour time period and see when this was really occurring, it was truly happening by and large at this particular locale. Bitcoin basically went on with essentially higher. Towards the converse. So what do I need to say with this? Without a doubt, it is apparently that we are seeing right now the requesting stream that is coming in the market certainly and bullish. By the by, unfortunately, we can't just sporadically acknowledge this particular information and say Bitcoin is correct by going to see a crazy aid towards the normal expansion, particularly considering the way that in the approaching hours, pristine improvement report or CPI information will be uncovered, before long. What we can see that it is